Hello, my name is Miranda H.P.
And I'm Connor Calloway.
And we are the Bountiful Bards.
Please join us in our first ever recorded D&D campaign,
The Fountains of Cathaidra.
All right, well, here we are. We are back for another round or session of Fountains of Cathaidra. Or as Miranda and I have figured out, it stands for FOC.
Mm-hmm. Fawk around?
So essentially, we are fawking today.
Fawking around, finding out.
Yep, we're definitely fawking around and finding out. We'll look at our calendar and it'll say, okay, we got fawk today. Yep, definitely going to be fawking. All right, well, enough of that joke. Moving on. Well, Miranda, do you remember what happened last time? Would you like me to go back over it again?
I think I read to a ghost, right?
You read a story to a ghost to put them at peace with the help of Cleric Carmine.
Yep, that's right.
It was the ghost Marlene, who was in love with Zeke, who was a radical against the church. And because of his writings, essentially, he was able to help create some autonomy for the people of Cathaidra, so they're not completely under the thumb of the church, essentially. Happened several centuries ago. So, are you ready to move on?
I am ready to move on. Are you ready to move on?
I hope so. So much prepping.
Well, I'm here for it, sir.
Wonderful.
Yes, Queen.
Oh, and you did reach level 5. So, of course, at some point during Voiden, from the time of the last session until now, you had your fever dream where you woke up in a cold sweat.
My favorite.
Hey, it means you've grown in experience. All right. After the events that occurred in the library, and of course you have spoken with Theo several times after she has woken up and had quite the headache, and you two had quite the laugh, and have had several times together since then in the library, cleaning up and putting the books back where they go. The rest of Voiding goes by without further issue. The month is tiresome, and the lack of sun is draining. But Leah, you know all too well that the light will come again. It always does. Today is the first of emergence, and the line of the sleeping spine is beginning to glow from the struggling sun. The curtains reappear in the sky above, the floating asteroids or rocks, hidden so well in the lengthened night. In 8 days, Voiden will end, and the next season, Greentide, will come, bringing forth a gentle warmth like the touch of a parent attempting to raise their sleeping child.
Green what?
Greentide.
Greentide.
That is essentially the season of spring in the world of Cathaidra.
Makes sense.
I hope so.
Tides of green across the land.
Yes. These humans are strange like that. They'll pick a simple name that they can barely understand with a bit of a country slur, and then that'll be the title of the month for centuries to come. Leah, help me. Come back to Radiant. Leah, you wake up. Claire Carmine's voice is shouting in your mind, and it snatches you to awareness. Leah, they're coming. They know. Letter from the road with orders to arrest you. They're coming for you and Theo. Leah, you have to run.
You can reply to this message.
Yes, you can reply to that message.
How much time do I have?
Is that how you reply?
Yes.
Half an hour, if not shorter. I'm going to get Jimothy now and hide him.
Okay. All right. And where am I?
You are in your dorm. Yeah, that's very much a woke up thought. Where am I? You're in your dorm. You've just got a message in your head from Carmine. You two have conversed once or twice since the happenings of the library, and he has told you that they are coming, whoever they are, for you and Theo.
The Inquisitors. Or whoever you've called them in this.
What did I call them?
I don't remember.
You should figure it out.
Well, I don't have time to figure it out. I'm busy.
Okay.
All right, so...
I love that logic. Continue.
I'm going to... I'm assuming Leah would always have her go bag, because that seems like something she would do at this point. So she's going to cast Sending to Theo.
Okay. What are you going to say?
Basically repeat, they're coming after us to arrest us. We need to get out now. Is there some place you'd like to meet me?
Oh, good heavens. Well, this day came a lot sooner than I thought it would. Maybe down at the tower by the stables. I have horses and a plan. What of your brother?
Cleric Carmine has him and is bringing him.
Do you burn a second spell slot to a reply?
Whew. Well, you don't have to. I think it's an action, so you get it for 6 seconds.
Used to send the message and then they reply.
Oh, well, I can't burn it again. That's all I got.
Well, you have your orders to meet her by the stables.
Yes.
Okay, what are you doing? You're in your room. Your stuff's all scattered about.
Well, I grab my go bag.
Okay.
I'm not going to disturb any of the other stuff. I'm going to make it still look like I'm there. Stuff a pillow under the bed.
Okay.
Do the ye old, like, I'm totally still here thing. And got anything important. All things that are potentially magic and incriminating are always in that go bag anyway.
Okay.
Including the flask of water, whatever. Anything else that I think is important, stuff it in the bag. Going to cast Mage Hand. I don't really need to mark that off. It's a cantrip. I'm going to cast Mage Hand to like, so I can yeet myself out the window with a rope and have the Mage Hand untie the rope for me afterwards, like I did before when I bamfed out to the library to go see the ruckus.
Okay.
I'm assuming this is something that Leah has done many times and has potentially mastered by now.
Right, many times. Okay. Right. So as you make your way outside the dorm, as one does.
Invisibility.
Okay, you cast invisibility on yourself.
After the mage hand dropped the rope down to me, stuffed it on my belt, invisibility, out to the stables. There's
still plenty of snow, but that by this time it's definitely become dirty and muckish, and needs to start making its way on somewhere. In the lates of winter up north, essentially what happens.
Right.
Give me a perception check as you make your way out to the main road to head towards the stables.
Oh, wow, that was terrible. Perception. 4.
You see nothing as you begin to make your way hurriedly towards the stables. Maybe a little bit of on-site panic as you get closer. And once you make it there, it's a very large stables. There's probably about 20 to 24 horses that are currently here, that are all in bed, or not in bed, but just all in their stalls and such. And then you hear a commotion by the front door that you leave partially ajar, and you see Theo come strolling in, your dwarf teacher.
Strolling?
Yeah. Or come jaunting in, strolling, haphazardly walking, panic-stepped, I don't know.
See, strolling is calm. Just
okay. In a hurried marching motions comes in, and she's like, Leah, are you here?
Do I see anybody else in the stables?
Roll a perception check again.
Much better, 17.
You see nobody else except for your teacher. It is pretty early in the morning, probably about 4 o'clock.
And I don't see Cleric Carmine or anything?
No. You believe, you know that he is currently at the church in Etchings and seems to have gotten wind and just sent the magical message to you to tell you to get you going.
Okay. I will drop invisibility.
Okay.
And yes, over here.
Oh, good. All right. 2 horses down at the far end on the right. They're mine. We need to go and get them saddled and hurriedly get them out.
Okay.
We've got to get into the city to get your brother. I don't even know if that's possible right now.
Cleric Carmine said he was taking care of him.
Okay. You're right. The cleric that helped you, the one that you said we can trust.
Yes.
Okay. Well, hopefully he can hide him. They're going to come here. I think I saw lights coming from Etching on my way in, so they're already riding this way, so we need to go ahead and saddle up and get out of here.
Okay.
All right. Roll me an animal handling check to see if you can get the saddle on and ready to go in time.
12.
More than fine. You, as you're getting some of the straps done, the horse kind of gets a little spooked, maybe because he gets pinched a little bit or something of that sort. Nothing of his fault. Takes up a few extra minutes than you expect.
I just kind of do that, like, low, high humming that you can do with horses that makes them calm down.
Yeah, you would know better than me. While you're doing so, Still's trying to tell you, she goes, if we get separated, it's like we are heading to the village Hold on, let me do my own mental map. South of here, it's called the First Stop. Okay. There's an inn there called the Bearded Dragon. The two individuals that live there that own the place, they will help us. They will help us with resupply so that we can continue to get out of here.
To the Bearded Dragon.
Yes.
Okay.
We can't stay there though. I'm trying to think where would be a good place to hide.
Well, we can think about that on our way. Are there any burlap sacks? Just like empty ones or ones that are near empty?
I'm sure there could be. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't there be?
Because something I learned from the many books that I read as a kid is if you tear the burlap sacks up and you put them over the horse's hooves, it muffles them.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So you're going to do that?
Yeah. So it's not horse hooves iron like the horseshoes clanking on cobblestone.
Give me another animal handling check. I love that idea.
Come on, baby. You're used to this.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. I don't know how well in real life it works, but it works in fantasy novels. 16.
All right. So if it works in one fantasy novel, it can work in this one, in this fantasy story. With 16, after humming to the animals and get them to calm and know you a little bit, this one's name is Skipper. You coax up their boots and put on the boots, their hooves, and put on the burlap saps. Why do they need the burlap saps when they have boots on? I'm sorry. I for some reason I seem to be a little out of it.
These horses have boots.
Right. Booted horses. And he allows you to do that, and he kind of steps around like a cat when you put a piece of tape on their feet. just not really sure. Probably not as dramatic as a cat would be, but definitely well, this is different. He's a pretty brown horse. Theo hops up on her horse, which is a little bit smaller, actually, almost pony-esque. She goes, "All right, let's get out of here. Come on." Yeah. The two of you bust out of the doors. The horses push against it. If they'd probably
use
done before.
mage hand to open. Mm-hmm. Slide it a little bit. Mage hand to slide it back.
You go riding out the back. Looking over your shoulder, you do see there is a light source coming down the road. About 10 to 12 torches that are heading your way as you two start making your way out. As you're trotting along towards the back of the courtyard, there is a stone wall that is about 3 feet high. As Theo, I'm gonna say kicks her horse to gallop a little bit faster. Let me see if they make it. Of course, they do without a problem. Up and over, they do. Have you ever jumped on a horse before, Leah?
Leah, 100%.
Okay. As you go riding forward, I would say definitely give me for you an athletics check to make sure that you just stay on, because Skipper definitely has hopped this fence before.
That's a really good.
There's
roll.
been several times since you've been going to school here where you've looked out your window and you hear, "Hey."
Dirty 20.
There you go. Hey, get back here. And you look out, there's 12 horses out in the middle of the wild pasture just grazing. And they're like, "No, what are you doing?" As you're riding, you start breaking out into the darkness. Hopefully Skipper does know the way and it's light enough for him to see as you begin to make your way south. Let me see. Let's roll that legendary perception check to see if anybody coming from Etchings sees you.
I'm hoping the muffled helped.
A natural 1. Yeah, the muffled help.
Yay!
We're going to put you in the retirement home for right now.
No, keep using it. I like it.
Nope. We're going up into the tower is what we're doing.
It's a dice timeout.
Right. Okay. 5 minutes go by, then 10, 15, 20. You are starting to get a little worried. About 30 minutes in, you hear from Carmine. "Leah, I've got your brother to safety. He's currently hiding in the graveyard. I have him in one of the stone sarcophagi. I will bring him to you within the next day or two. Just let me know what you are doing."
Okay. Do I know how far Etchings is from? So it's not that much further from us, right?
Etchings?
Yeah.
Oh, you can still see it behind you.
Okay.
The Solarium Prime is probably a mile, if not a mile and a half away from the city. Maybe 2 miles from the city, you can see the school.
Okay. Just making sure, because for some reason my brain just went liquid.
But essentially, you have arched your way around Etchings to find the civilized road again, and when you do...
But the school is still technically within Etchings. It's just in its own little
Yeah, like the countryside of Etchings,
because it takes up its own sprawl kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's a flat, somewhat hilly grassland is what Etchings is.
So I'll tell Cleric Carmine that we are heading to the first stop to the Bearded Dragon.
Okay. You don't get a reply, but you believe the message goes through. You ride through the night. Another hour passes, and then 2. You're starting to get tired. You definitely bring the horses down from a gallop to just a good steady trot. You don't want to wear them out.
A canter,
just a ch.
Because trots you have to post up when you trot, so you get worn out pretty quick. A canter is halfway between a trot and a gallop, and it's a little more natural for the horse. The
sun's not yet breaking the top, but it is putting not twilight, a dawn, essentially that first light of dawn, but it doesn't improve at all. It just, you could just barely see on the horizon. Looking back behind you, you don't see any torch lights or anything like that. You still believe that they are still, whoever is after you is perusing the school.
Can I have been, since I've got prestidigitation, can I have been making sure to kind of like prestidigitate the snow behind us for at least when we first bamfed out, like initially just to like cover up where the horses went. But after that, just kind of like, instead of covering them, having like hoof prints going different directions. So like just creating essentially like myriad hoof prints that look like they may have gone left, right, and center.
I will say, give me an Arcana check.
Ooh, 11.
11. I will say you've definitely done probably the best you can. You hope it's good enough.
It's just to be confusing. I'm not trying to like.
I understand. Just with an 11 check, you're definitely doing the best you can. We'll see how the rolls go if somebody is tracking you to see if they're able to find you or not.
Well, that's why I said like I erased the initial one so they don't know which way we went. So if they guessed we went this way, there's no particular like made it look like maybe there were 4 horses, 12, 6, 2, a 3-legged horse that has a lame foot.
No, I understand. I understand what you're trying to do.
Just enough to like really fuck with them.
As you. Probably about 8 a.m, you are at this point. We're riding for about 4 hours and you are tired. Your horse is starting to get a little tired as well as you've slowed to a
walk for sure.
A walk. Not too bad, not frothing at the mouth. You two would never do that to your horses. But you do start to see a little village off in the distance, simple thatched roofings. You see several herds of sheep that you go by, farmers looking at you all squint-eyed as farmers do whenever you come through the road. There's nobody else on the civilized road as you're making your way south because it's the time of the year where the road's pretty much closed and nobody travels.
My cloak looks very nondescript.
Theo brings up her pony. He's like, whoa, Hop, whoa. All right. We shouldn't be too far now. I sent word they're expecting us. When you get the horses in the stable and hopefully get something to eat and figure out what we need to do next. You eventually trot through town. She takes you down one street then the other, and this inn is located about midway between Center Point to the outskirts of town. And you do see a sign of a dragon that looks to be made out of bread. Hanging there. The wood is carved so expertly that it does look like a loaf of bread formed into the shape of a dragon hanging beside this 2-story building. As you come up, an individual comes out, a half-orc looking fella, greenish skin, no apron on, just a white t-shirt, tightened to his chest, shows a good bit of a belly and brown trousers, short cropped hair, a golden earring on the right ear, clean shaven, and comes out and goes, Theo, what's happening? I got your message like you sent, but you didn't respond again. Is everything okay? Are we in danger? And she replies, no, Mazul, everything is fine. Is Zara in? We're not in danger per se, but the church is definitely finally looking for us. They figured me out somehow. I don't know how, but we need something to eat and just to refresh before we can get on the road again. He goes, oh, absolutely. Come on. Oh, these poor horses. Let's get you inside. And as you both hop off, he grabs both of the horses and begins to lead them back around to the back of the building where possibly the stables are.
Give him a good rub down.
Mm-hmm. He just says, don't worry, I'll have them taken care of.
That burlap is long gone off them hooves.
Yeah. As you go inside, simple, elegant, simple, comforting inn. You can smell bread baking in the back. The fire is definitely stoked and warm. You can go over and warm up your hands because they're pretty much probably chilled to the bone, damp. Even though you did have your riding gloves on, Phil joins you as well. About that time, another individual comes in, an elfin lady wearing a nice, simple dress, but with, a beautiful stitching of colors and flowered patterns, just a very unique design. She is an elven lady. I don't know if I said that or not. With short brownish hair, wearing glasses, square frame glasses. She has bits of paint on her arm, left and right, with her hands on the hips, and she's like, "Theo, I hope we're not bringing any trouble here." And Theo goes, "I don't believe we're going to bring any trouble. If anything, they'll come ask questions and then be on their way. But you two have been questioned before, so you should be fine." She was like, "That we have. We don't have no love for any of the church folk around here. So they're after you." And Theo replies, "They are. And we were just hoping if we could get a quick bite to eat. And then while we plan, and I don't know, Zara, I've just left my entire world behind. We're outlaws now, I think." So essentially, they just have a conversation of updating one another. But how do you feel during this?
Well, I think Leah would have used prestidigitation like as they cross the threshold.
Not what you would do. I want to know how Leah would feel right now.
I think Leah's still young. So for her, this is exciting. This is like, we're finally doing it. We're finally going to find something to like show the church what for. Like, I don't think Leah really quite understands the gravity of the situation. Because this is exciting for her. This is an adventure. She's wanted to go back to the ruins this whole time. That's all she's wanted to do. She has felt stuck and stifled in a place that is supposed to be an institute of higher learning, and yet they're so backwards and they're so restricting on something that could be world changing. And she's not stupid. She knows that she has to be careful. She has to be discreet, but she's just excited and she wants to see what happens next. I mean, there's an undercurrent of fear, but it's more of like the fear of jumping out of an airplane where it's exciting.
Okay.
It's still scary, but it's exciting.
All right. After they continue to converse with one another, Theo walks up and goes, "Your mother and I were hoping that this would not occur. I have been hiding something from you because I have not wanted you to worry. The Lance captured Cleric Cathaidra, the cleric from Dewdrop, your hometown, and they made him talk. Your mother sent you to me and your brother because they knew they were going to have to leave their home."
What?
Your mother and father are both being sought after by the church, along with the goblin individual, Eklar, and the rest of his kind. Leah, you have to understand that moving that many people is very difficult to go unnoticed in this world. They were trying to, I guess, take them somewhere where they could start living again and be outside of the church, but eyes are always watching, and I guess someone saw them, and it happened about a week ago that they came looking for your parents. Last time I spoke to your mother, and from what we've talked, you could probably reach out to her now as well. They're hiding. They're fine. We have ways of hiding people. But that's why I had everything ready to go with the horses, because I knew it was only a matter of time before they came for us.
I see.
But they're on the other side of the map. I've told them not to tell me exactly where, in case for somehow I'm not sure all the magic that the church is capable of. They're far more powerful than we are, but I didn't want them to get any cross messages, or, if someone could listen in. I don't know if that's magically possible. It feels like the one-way communication is fine, but
Plausible deniability, I get it.
absolutely. I also think it would be a good idea for us to lay low And I think the perfect place is that way station that you found out in what once was.
That makes sense to me.
I've asked Mazul to basically supply us with a good bit of food that we can go and basically hunker down there and wait it out.
Well, hopefully Jimothy will be here soon.
Perhaps tomorrow you send word to him or the cleric and send him to the ruins. Or send him here and then Mazul can point on the way, but it would be unsafe for us to wait here for him.
Well, they know that we're here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how soon the cleric left or if he left at all tonight, but I can tell him that message tomorrow if you like after we're gone.
That would probably be for the best. And honestly, we got out so early that we got ahead of the lockdown, but I would, without a doubt, I know they would probably search and flip that entire city to look for your brother. And I do worry about Jimothy. But I hope and I feel him hiding in the church.
It's the last place they'd look.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
So we'll keep in touch with him. And I will as well. But as soon as you're ready, I think we should head out to the Outlook and wait for your brother there. And even Cleric Carmine, if he wishes to come, I would assume it'd be nice to have. Well, then again, maybe not. Probably it'd be best to have somebody eyes and ears going on.
I agree. Well, let me pee first.
Okay. And we're going to be changing horses. He has 2 horses he's going to lend me, and he's going to keep ours. They'll have a good home here, much better than something we'll eat them if we take them out to what once was. So
we're going to switch to 2 other horses that will be eaten.
No. We'll release them, but they know their way back home.
Some ponies then?
Yes. Mazul has rented them out plenty of times. He says he has sent them as far as the next city down, Easeway, and they've come back. So good horses.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I'm sorry.
You know, it feels like it was inevitable. And honestly, I wish it hadn't happened this way, and I'm worried about Mom and Dad and Eklar. It's not really Eklar's fault either. It seems so unfair that this is happening to him this way when they were just trapped in a time bubble. But I've been wanting to go back for a while now.
Well, I'll be honest, I have too. So,
because I haven't shown it to her yet, right? She
right? No, you have not. Your plan was to go once Green Tide got here. Was basically to head out there once it warmed up. But let's just say that the plans were pushed forward a little faster than they should have been. So, all right, you two begin to head out to the way station, and you will begin chapter 5 of your journey.
Thank you for listening. Please leave a review anywhere you found us. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Bountiful Bards. We hope to see you again on the civilized road.
And bring bread and cheese.
As the story goes, until then.